Hello there and welcome to the Academy of Historical Fencing. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Regenyei No. 1 Messer, designed for HEMA sparring, this particular weapon here. I'm going to give you the short version first. This is my new cunning plan, so you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to. So in under 60 seconds I'll try and give you an idea of what it's like. So first of all, is it any good? Yes. Is it durable enough for long-term sparring? Yes. Does it have a safe tip for thrusting or the flex? Yes. Has a rolled tip, so yes. Does it rattle loose? Yes, a little bit. Is it sort of reasonable in terms of price? Yes, it's a very low-priced sword, and I'll get onto that in a moment. Would I recommend it for HEMA sparring? 100% yes. Now I've got that kind of short, tiny review out of the way, I'll get to the actual meat of it. So this is called the No. 1, just check, yeah, it's the No. 1 Messer. So Regenyei has a number of Messers for sale. This is the only model I would recommend for actual sparring for HEMA. So he does loads of other much nicer looking Messers, and the blades are just absolutely useless for most of the stuff we do. Really nice profiles on the blades, but if you want to do safe sparring, definitely no. So I'm afraid you have to go to the No. 1, the most boring looking Messer on the list, but it's as a tool it will do the job just fine. So the blade kind of looks like the feather blades that he uses, well, unsurprisingly for his feathers, but you will notice if you go to the back edge, you do have a much thicker back edge than the sort of cutting edge. So if you look at the short edge versus the long edge, there is a bit of taper down here, quite pronounced, moving all the way down to the tip. So that's quite nice. A lot of Messers that you get is just uniform all the way across. In terms of grip, I think you have some basic options. I think it's just colour actually with this one, and mine has taken a little bit of wear. Bear in mind it's a Messer. I use it for brawling like all my other Messers. You get caught up, tangled on stuff, so they do take a little bit of wear on the grips. But saying that, it hasn't taken a huge amount. It's just caught a couple of times on the cord. Now, by default, it comes with a rolled tip, which is good. So you've got something there for a bit of sort of safety on the tip. Not all Messers will come with something like that, so you might have to put something on afterwards. Some groups might want to pop some leather or a rubber tip on there as well. That'll be down to your group. In our group, in the AHF, looking at this one, we'd class that as acceptable. Moving along, you've got a nice sturdy crossguard. Mine has taken an absolute pounding. It's been used in so many fights, it's ridiculous. And the crossguard just will not bend. It's like a tiger tank in terms of how durable kind of the metal is there. The nagel, I think the nagel has stayed pretty much true from the day it was bought. Yeah, it hasn't moved at all. It's exactly the same as when I bought it. It has got a little bit of a wobble. There are lots of things you could do about that. I won't do anything about it. I'll just keep using it until it dies. But if that bothers you, well, you know the usual options for sorting that out. It is a peened weapon, so you're going to have to wrap something around there or use some wood or whatever, just to try and tighten it all down. In terms of edge damage, bear in mind I've used this for a lot of fights. It has taken edge damage. If I move up there, hopefully you can see it on the camera. I'll keep moving it. Basically, from the middle of the blades down to the strong, I've got lots of little sort of small perforations, like little micro dents, indentations in the blade. So that has taken wear. Moving along here, yeah, you can definitely see. Yeah, if you look at that, you can see a little bit of wear on the blade. Again, this gets used a lot, and I use my swords for fighting. They're not just for sort of sticking on the wall, and it comes out a lot. I also lend this out to people occasionally as well. It just gets used in every brutal fashion you can think of, so it does get a real beating, but it stood up absolutely fine. Now, at first glance, when people look at these, they think that is one ugly spud. You've got this kind of really thick grip, and then this really chunky piece of metal on the end. It doesn't look particularly sort of pleasing. It's not a sort of aesthetically nice look. Oh, I don't think so anyway. Although the kind of the beak shape is quite cool. But when you actually hold it, You've got sort of nice, obvious flats and edges on there. It holds really well, and actually the amount of metal down here does counterbalance the Messer really nicely. It's one of those strange things where the Messer performs a lot nicer than it actually looks, or a lot better than it looks. So don't let that put off you. If you're not quite sure, find somebody else that's got a number 1 Messer, ask to borrow it, try it out, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, I have a couple of other Messers, and out of all of them, this is the one I would consider to be the kind of the toughest in terms of if you want to go up and fight against big two-handers, small montantes, long swords, or any other kind of weapon combinations you're not quite sure about. This is kind of the Messer you feel you can trust. So it's coming down towards your head. You want to kind of go up into the bogan or something to try and defend yourself. You want to brace it with your off arm. It basically feels like a real tank when you're sparring. So if you want something that's going to really stand up to other weapons, then yeah, I've been pretty impressed. The thing I really like about this particular Messer is the price. Just double check. They start at sort of €255. Actually, when I bought mine, it was a good chunk less than that. So the price has gone up a little bit. And if you order as a club, you get discount as well, so that helps. I think if you order 10 or more items for your club, you get 10% off. So definitely worth considering. Overall, really, really like it. Remember, it's the number 1 Messer. Please, please, please don't make the mistake of ordering the other Messers. If you look on Facebook, search for Regenyei Messer, you'll find loads of people who have ordered the other types and they have to modify the profile of the blades. They've got to fiddle and fuss and mess around. So don't bother doing that. It's a straightforward tool. So just buy the number 1 Messer, choose the colour, and that's all the thinking you have to do. Get the weapon, get it home, stick it in your bag, and go off and start fighting with it. So yeah, definitely recommend this particular Messer. Any questions about it? Pop them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help. But yeah, I definitely give this one a big double thumbs up. Thanks for watching.